autism awareness angel, making sure my wings protect the different, the stranger than. I'm an autism awareness angel. It's good, cause I'm cool with the unique behavior. I'm an autism awareness angel. Will you accept me? Cause I accept you. I'm an autism awareness angel, cause a view from the spectrum is a better point of view. The question at hand.
Hi, I'm Tally and welcome back to Autism 30. Today I have a treat for you. Today we are speaking to wonderful Chana Lee. He is 20 years old and a first-year Capilano student studying animation. He's a fantastic boy who is doing amazing things, and his talent for drawing is unbelievable. But we are so pleased that he is speaking with us to answer all of our questions, which I know we parents and everyone else are very keen to know. So welcome, Chana.
Hello there.
Now, what was your childhood like?
I was actually born in the USA, and I was born in Ithaca, New York State, since my dad used to study at Cornell University. But a few years later, I was diagnosed with asthma. Because of that, I didn't eat that much and didn't like to eat much veggies. Also, I started to seem completely silent and didn't want to talk to everyone. After that, my family decided to move back to Korea, and that's where my childhood life was.
So do you remember anything about Ithaca, New York, or no?
No.
And what was your childhood like in Korea?
During my childhood in South Korea, it was not that easy for me to make friends in Christian elementary school called CCA, which stands for Central Christian Academy. One time, I saw most of my friends playing video games like Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, and reading some comic books, and watching some cartoons such as like SpongeBob SquarePants, anime, manga, and some Disney series. That was my first time when I got obsessed with video games and cartoons done by animations.
And I know a lot of kids your age do as well. I know my son loves video games as well. Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And what else do you remember of your childhood?
And later, I was kind of interested in media team in CCA. Basically, it's kind of like news broadcasting service in my elementary school. And I was in the position of telling some prayer requests for CCA.
That's great. So you could basically do my job quite easily.
No.
And what was it like to be in broadcasting?
After some students watched this, they start to recognize me all around the school. Impressed with this effort, the director somehow decided to put me into the position of news anchor when I was in like grade 6 because he thought I did it so cute and funny.
Well, I can understand that, but that's a great opportunity.
And yeah, that was the first time when I started to open my heart to everyone, which shaped me today.
That's great. And now, what was it like before then? Were you shy or you didn't want to open up to anybody?
Just like you said, I was kind of like shy and like I didn't have any intention to open my mind to everyone.
Okay. And what was it like afterwards when everybody saw what a fabulous broadcaster you were and everybody thought you were amazing and you opened up? How did that feel?
It felt good and I felt loved.
Oh, and I can see why. And did you know you had autism as a child, and who would you advise know about your diagnosis, or who would you tell?
Actually, I didn't know I had autism as a child. I started to know I had autism when I was a like teenager. And of course, it was my parents who told me that I have like high functioning autism.
Yes, and what was it like to hear that you had high functioning autism?
What was it like?
Yes.
Um, well, it's like, this kind of spectrum of autism is like, it can kind of allows the person to talk to like some strangers and make some friends,
Yes.
and by showing kindness.
Yes, you are very kind, and I can understand that. And how, as a child, how did autism affect you? As a teen, like you're an adult now, how did autism affect you in development?
My autism has mostly affected me was when I was a teen. As you can see, I have like anxiety disorder, which is kind of like, which is another kind of different aspect of autism, and which means that I worry about something that's minor.
Okay. And what are some of the things that might bother you?
Well, it's like every time I like have anxieties disorder, it's like it makes me to think that something bad is going to happen. Every time I see something, what's going on in the world,
Mm-hmm.
such as in the news and like accident, incident, and some like
I can understand that. Considering what's on the news lately, I absolutely understand. And what were some of the challenges that you had growing up?
some challenges that I had growing up was the fear that some people would judge my appearance based on my how short I am and how like how weak I am and how I behave. Also, I had a hard time of understanding what my friends are talking about in common. Be stick together with a group of friends and finding which activities do they enjoy, especially in the summer.
And you're mentioning about being concerned about what people thought of you. You're sitting right in front of me, and I mean, I must be quite short because you don't seem all that short to me, and you're quite a handsome man. So, basically, what you're telling me is that as an ex-high school teacher, I completely get the fact that you felt that people might be judging you based on your appearance, but you're actually quite attractive looking. So that's one thing that you necessarily would have in common with the typical person. But with autism, how did the autism affect you?
For example, it affected me like it made me to blame myself every time I made mistakes, even small mistakes. Especially when I realized that I made my friends feel annoyed, bothered, or frustrated, and I get mad to myself, especially when I forget to do my tasks, such as like homework,
uh,
and getting a bad grade in the test.
so what would you have wished for?
Well, if I only had a if I only had a great time management skills, like I would have done both of that. And yeah, even if I missed some of the homework, I
Yes.
mean, not much of it.
Yes.
Even if I missed only tiny bit amount of homework, like
Hmm.
I wish I could put more effort on hanging out with some friends, especially in church community like village church.
Yes, which I think is really important to you, and I think that one of the things that I'm really pleased with what you're saying is the point that you do want to be with people, because I know often it's a common misconception that people with autism don't necessarily want to be around other people, and what you're clearly mentioning is that something you really desire and want.
Yes.
So you're breaking the myth for a lot of people here today, which I think is wonderful. And what was school like for you?
Well, basically, I was kind of like perfectionist when I was in like middle school, all the way to the high school, which means that I had to get all good grades and finish homework right on time, no matter what, in order for me to like graduate.
Okay.
And because of that, because I was a perfectionist,
Yes.
it made me too difficult to figure out some time to arrange some hangout plans with my friends during high school age.
Okay. And that must have been disappointing for you. So, what fond memories do you have of childhood?
Actually, I didn't have much good fond memories in South Korea, but in Canada I did.
Oh, what were they?
But the first time when I came to Canada,
Yes.
it was get to know like which which of which of the cartoons were the best childhood
Yes.
cartoons we watched in Canada?
And what kind of cartoons did you watch in Canada?
Like kids cartoon, it was like Arthur,
Oh yeah, Arthur, he's great.
Curious George,
Yes, absolutely.
and SpongeBob SquarePants,
Very popular one, yes.
and some Disney Channel comedy sitcoms.
Absolutely. And which one was your favorite?
In Disney series,
Yeah.
it was The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and The Sweet Life on Deck.
That's great. And what do you want others in society to know about people with autism? Something you've always wanted to let others know to clear up any ignorance that others may currently have that you want rectified?
Um, please make sure. Please make sure that I'm not the only one who struggles in like different way, no matter which I'm struggling in. And I want please treat those with autism in equal way like everyone.
That is beautiful, and I agree in the sense that I know that everybody has their challenges, and I think that's really great that you mentioned that, and that you just want to be treated like everybody else. And was there a time in your life where you felt you weren't treated equally?
Well, when the friends are busy with like school assignments and for example, when friends have their own thing,
Yes.
but I do understand now why friends are busy, like why they
Yes.
have a private stuff like that. And but before when I was in high school, like I just didn't get it. But now I understand why they're busy.
Okay. And you want to be included also.
Yeah, every time they're arranging hangouts, like I wish I could like invite it every time they arrange to hang out.
Okay. And you want to know what I think that's really important in the sense of wanting to be included and with your friends on all, like everyone else.
Yes.
And what would make life easier for you?
When many of my friends would understand me well that I have high functioning autisms and some other weaknesses, and I'm hoping that many of my best friends would invite me to join hangout, especially in holidays. Not on like school year.
So basically, what you're saying is what the things that would make life easier for you is for people to actually get it, for people to understand what you're going through in the sense of your difficulty, and in knowing that, have empathy for your situation and be included.
Yes.
And I think that's valid with everybody. And what do you love about having autism? And if you would get rid of your diagnosis, would you?
You know, the interesting thing about autism is to allow me to make many friends than usual by like introducing, talking, mingling, and kill them with kindness. You know what that means? I just bringing up from the Selena Gomez, one of the Revival Tour album.
Yes.
And that was my favorite. Kill them with kindness.
And you are, and you do. And I agree. So, Chenna, do you view your autism as a gift?
Well, I wish I could get rid of my autism, but like I said before, the autism could be a great advantage to share with those who are willing to share about their weaknesses and what they're struggling about.
Absolutely. And I know that you have many gifts as well, which I've heard.
Yeah, not just only a drawing, but I have some other gifts as well.
Would you like to tell us about them?
Yes.
So what other, because I know that you're beyond gifted at drawing, and your drawing skills are incredible. So you said you had other gifts. What are they?
Um, when I was young, when I was like grade 1 at Korea, I started to learn some like pianos, and I played piano for like I don't know, like over 10 years maybe.
Wow.
And yeah, and somehow some of my people told me that I have some perfect pitch.
My son has the same thing. That's wonderful. And what's it like to have perfect pitch? Because I don't have it.
What's like to being like perfect pitch?
Yes.
Well, it feels clear it's clear of like which pitch was.
That's wonderful. So you were able to learn the piano very, very easily because of your perfect pitch?
Um, well, well, not like that because I played piano for like many years.
Yes.
That's what I. That's how I got the perfect pitch.
Okay, that's wonderful. And what other gifts do you have? I heard from your father that you have excellent memory.
Um, I do have a good memory if I have something like interest in.
Okay, and that's a really important point to note. You have to be interested in the subject matter to have a good memory.
Yes.
And and I think that basically applies to a lot. You have to be interested in something. So if somebody were to test you in a subject matter that you wouldn't necessarily be interested in,
Yeah.
you just don't want to learn it. And aside from your wonderful gifts, what are some of the challenges that you faced in society and how would you overcome them?
The challenging part is the difference between me and my friends. For example, most of my friends are taking like theology, psychology, biology, nursing, and some science subject, while I take 2D animation at Capilano University, which is very unique to me and some society. At least my friends and families appreciate my effort in whatever I do, which makes me a stronger.
Absolutely. And your skills in drawing and whatnot must have helped you learn animation.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm pretty good at drawing stickmen, but that's about it. So, so that must be a wonderful gift to be able to draw anything that you see the way that you do and apply it to animation.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And what are your future goals?
My future goals would be, like I told you before, hanging out with friends often, if they're free, especially on holidays.
Absolutely. And basically what you want to do is be social, which I think is a fabulous thing.
Yes. And another thing is getting know each other with my friends about what are their gifts, passion, and weakness, and what are they struggling about.
Uh, you're a very empathetic person and you care about your friends' well-being and you care about their future as well.
Yes.
And I think that makes you a wonderful friend to them as well. And who is your inspiration?
Well, it's kind of a long story.
Absolutely, we have the time.
When I first came to Canada, although I had made like lots of friends, but I didn't. I was not that interested to hanging out with some friends because I was struggling to find the best group.
Yes.
And no matter who am I hanging out with, I start to having like discuss everything with like community group at village church.
Which is really nice. And I think it's important to have people you can talk to.
And and the most interesting thing that was like I looked at the village church website and it said we lead because of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So simply saying, um, for us, I'm a Christian, and some village church people, Jesus is our inspiration.
Okay, good. So what you're saying is you get your inspiration from the teachings of Jesus Christ?
Yes, yes, yes.
Interesting. And the final question, although I'll ask a couple after this, the final question, what would you like the world to know about autism?
I know there are some difficult parts of my high functioning autism. I know it has some difficulties to which is the best group for me to find, especially I was having a trouble with like which kind of community group is best for me in Village Church, but you know, but it was kind of easy for me to find is that like I thought it would be good if I go to the community group which is led by the person whom I already know.
Okay. So what you're trying to say is people with autism like community. They want to be involved with other people and they want to be included within whatever community they so choose to be.
Yeah.
Okay, which I think is really important. Chana, do you mind if I ask you a couple of more questions?
Yes.
Okay. When you're talking about your wonderful gifts because you have them, what is it like to be very advanced in certain areas that other people aren't? Like you were very skilled in drawing, you were very skilled in memorizing certain things, and you had perfect pitch when you played piano. What is it like to be more advanced than other people in those areas?
How is it advanced?
How was it for you to be so far advanced from other people?
Well, well, it made me to think like, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of like, entertaining.
Entertaining, absolutely. And when you draw or when you memorize things that you're really, really interested in, how does that make you feel?
Feels great.
And when you draw, I know when people draw, you pay a very close attention to detail. Your ability to draw comes naturally to you, yes? So how do you see when you draw?
How do I see it when I draw?
Yes. How do you decide what goes on the paper from what you see?
Well, I do know that I draw what I see in natural. For example, like I go to live drawing session,
Yes.
and sometimes I like to draw my friends.
Okay, excellent. So when you're drawing your friends, when you look at somebody's face and body and what they're wearing and the scene,
Yeah.
what do you put on paper first?
What do I put on paper first?
Yeah, what do you start to draw first when you look at them?
Basically, when drawing a person, starts with the proportion. It's almost like stickman.
Oh, okay. So maybe somebody like me could even take it up.
Yeah. So you can start drawing with the stickman, but it's kind of like you can think it as like the skeleton.
Excellent. So when you're viewing a scene, do you see things, let's say, in more of a geometrical proportional shape, and that goes with all objects?
Well, I think stuff like that.
Excellent. So what you're saying is you have a very keen eye to decipher actual sizes and reality of what you see.
Yeah.
And when you hear perfect pitch, when you hear perfect pitch on the piano, let's say, do you have synesthesia? Are you able to see color, or how do you know inside what note is what note?
Well, when you put it this way, do re mi fa sol la si do.
Yes.
As long as I remember, this pattern in like every key, like whether it's a minor or a major, like it's pretty simple.
But it might be simple for you to listen to and actually understand what note you're hearing. But I know a lay person like I do has difficulty. And do you feel that your autism contributed into your giftedness of being able to hear a perfect pitch and be able to draw the way you do so wonderfully?
In some parts.
That's wonderful. So your autism really is a wonderful addition.
Yeah.
That's great. Is there anything you want to say to anybody in the podcast?
Just make sure you guys know that you guys are not the only one who is struggling autism, but I know that there are so many people, there are so many normal people who are like bigger struggle than you guys.
Absolutely. I think that's really important. Channa, it's been a real delight having you here in our studio. I absolutely loved hearing all your stories and answers to my question. You've been so generous and charming with us. And if you'd like to receive more information about Channa, please go to our website at autism30.com. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, don't forget to click and write us a review. You can also join us on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. This is Tally telling you, once again, to live in love.
Hey yo, I'm